The bridge is a tremendous metaphor. You know, it transforms the geography, the topography, the culture, the way that the place works.
If you look around these mountains, this is pretty much where trees come from. When you're talking about wood, it's axiomatic that local wood would be biologically best adapted to wherever you're building. And one of my goals is to always try to use local materials.
It is a huge bureaucratic nightmare to get through everything, to even just get permission to build a bridge, never mind actually have it constructed. The opposition, in some people's minds, it was a not in my backyard opposition.
That whole momentum began to really build, and then every time somebody would come close to the project, they would kind of get sucked into the process, and more people became passionate about the idea of building this timber frame bridge. That was kind of the beginning of what we call the bridge vortex.
So when members of the Timber Framers Guild arrived in Golden to build our pedestrian bridge, it was the culmination of a 4-year odyssey of endless meetings and debates and fundraising and politics and certainly some creative groveling to get people involved and mounds of paperwork. So we were really, really excited when we finally had a definite date set for construction and we were getting ready to go. Timber framing is an ancient craft that goes back thousands of years and is kept alive by guild members who volunteer their expertise to various projects around the world, like the one in Golden.
I'm Darryl Weiser, and I came up here to work from Elkins, West Virginia.
I'm Kaisa from Sweden. So I like to work with wood, and I hope I can help out with something here. And I came with Jonas.
And I was going to US anyway, so I thought, why not participate in this project?
My name is Bruce McMahon, and I also live in Golden. I heard the guild's coming to Golden. I'm going to be here, and I'm here.
I'm Colin Stotts. I'm based out of Calgary, Alberta. I like how people can come together and pull something off. I like the idea of leaving something permanent, something beautiful in this world, a landmark. And I love the fact that we're building with big wood and basically giving each and every one of these trees a new life.
We picked 9 trees from this area right here. The first challenge is, once we got the trees, is how we were actually going to cut these 54-foot trees. Once they were bucked off at 54 feet, how we were going to process them. I own a wood miser, which is a modern band mill that it's really innovative. Cutting a 54-foot long beam, the logs tend to move, with the ends will lift up as you're cutting. There's a lot of tension in the tree, of course. After the first day of frustration, things settled in a little more, and we got some clamps, and we clamped down one end that would be lifting up. And by the end of the project, they were really coming off well.
You got her, Tara? You're not gonna let her over?
They were working with these huge one-of-a-kind Douglas fir beams, generously donated by Tambak. And the worksite ended up becoming a learning site with master craftsmen from the guild teaching and working alongside apprentices and students. There were about 32 beams in total that had to be cut and notched. Then everybody would pick them up and fit them together in layers to form a massive lamination known as a cord. These cords would then form the top and bottom of the bridge trusses.
Overwhelmingly, the people responded positively for the Burr Arch. Everybody loved the design.
Initially, of the 3 bridge options that we selected, 2 of them were timber frame structures, and one was a town lattice design and the other was a Burr Arch. Both of them being quite traditional and quite old, proven designs. Because of the view in Golden, we decided the Burr Arch had a lot more room to get the visual impact from within the bridge, and it has a lot more opportunity to throw light and shadows and things like that around.
The design goes all the way back to February 14, 1806, when it was patented by a bridge builder called Theodore Burr. The arch was included to strengthen the truss. Thousands of these Burr bridges were built in the 1800s. The longest was about a mile in length and had 27 200-foot trusses. Our bridge spans about 155 feet. We got to know the origin of the term journeyman from Heinrich and Georg. They were both on their own separate world journeys, practicing their craft and following a tradition that goes back hundreds of years.
I'm Henrik, and I'm from Denmark, and I'm a traveling carpenter, and I saw some pictures of what you guys were doing over here, so I just bought a ticket as fast as I can to come over here and help you with the bridge.
My name is Jörg. I'm from Germany, and I came here, found out about the project of the timber framers building the bridge. I came here to help and learn how to build the bridge.
The community opened their hearts and their homes to over 100 volunteers.
We had a great response. Just asked people to call into our office and let us know if they were willing to put someone up for a night, for a few days, for a week, for the whole month.
And I was just given a call on Thursday night saying, "Are you ready to take somebody in?" And I said, "Sure." And she says, expect an elderly gentleman from Ohio. He'll be arriving at about 9:30. And of course, 3 o'clock in the morning, this guy shows up.
Wasn't quite what she was expecting.
You're not from Ohio.
No, and I'm not elderly.
A cowboy hat. Yeah. So I got this big Texan here, and you've hardly been there.
I'm James.
From where?
Calgary. And I have a wood problem. I like wood.
I love working with wood. It's a great thing. It's a lot of fun. It kind of does a lot more what you want it to do than metal and plastic does.
Oh God, work with my hands, but wood's something new to me.
I'm very thankful to all the local people, and the hospitality that they show us on a daily basis is absolutely overwhelming to me.
It was a little bit more difficult on the location. It was the best place for people to connect from both sides of the community, the traditional downtown core and to the residential core on the south side, and it was probably the easiest way for them to cross.
And where did we go, or where did they decide to go? In the place where most people cross the river in the wintertime.
Building the bridge, we couldn't build the bridge over the river. So what we did was we literally built the whole bridge in the street, which was directly adjacent to the Kicking Horse River, right in the downtown core. It was very exciting because we were able to close off one street and one laneway, and we sort of created this whole beehive of activity right in the middle of the street.
Today is a big day. We want to know by about 3 o'clock whether or not we're even realistic of raising this thing. We are rushing today, but let's not panic. We don't want anyone hurt.
I was 6'4" when I first started, and by jumping off the bridge, you see how tall I am now. If you can find a place to step down on a block to get off, let's do that, because you'll end up as short as this guy here.
If you're not having fun, you don't get to stay. And if you're running, you're doing the wrong thing. If you get hurt, you'll be punished. So remember the motto, gentlemen. Friendship, hospitality,
and romance.
All right, we get today under our belt. I mean, I know I'm having a beer tonight. If we don't get it under our belt, I'm probably having a beer anyway.
We only had so much budget for crane use, and the cranes that we had booked to lift the bridge had other jobs pending, so the pressure was on to get it finished before they had to leave for their next job.
And we're going to get it sucked up, bolted, wedged, the rods pulled.
Well, there's 165 1-inch bolts put in, of which
They need to be drilled.
half of those need to be drilled through the first top 2 layers. Wow. But now that's something that a lot of people can do if everything else is done up.
This will be up by 6 o'clock this evening. Guaranteed.
In my opinion, it's going to be no-go because there are too many pieces of the final lamination of the cord, and the entire bolting sequence would have to be completed before the truss could be stood up.
I think today is more of a, I think everybody's kind of beat up from yesterday too, so let's just take our time, and I think we can all find work. It all has to be done, and we can all back each other up that it is getting done. Everybody keep their eye out for what's missing.
Our friends here at Rocky Mountain Crane gave us some breathing room. Take time to enjoy what you're doing today, because this is a pretty unique experience, you know.
I'd like to think that, you know, people who come here from all over will realize that, you know, it's a small town getting something really special. We're really lucky.
A few of them showed up maybe about a week and a half ago, and they got this done already.
The truss weighed over 30 tons, and it proved to be a major challenge to raise.
Find a larger crane. Well, we don't have much time to talk about it, actually.
Shouldn't get